to introduce someone who has served abroad as a United States Marine. Tyler Ballinger has served his country on the front lines as a Marine, including 3 deployments to Iraq, and he's now part of the Truman National Security Project, and he can speak from personal experience about the national security concerns related to climate change.
Thank you. My name is Tyson. I'm a home state Connecticut resident, a Marine infantry veteran, and a member of Operation Free, a nationwide coalition of thousands of veterans who support secure, clean, and independent energy. An aha-oh moment is when we feel happy we finally understand something. But in a flash, we are left feeling more and more concerned about a serious, lasting, and growing problem. Today I will share stories of such moments at the overlap of national security, energy efficiency, and climate change. On my first deployment as a Marine, we sailed aboard a Navy ship from San Diego out to Djibouti, Africa, and back. Along the way, I visited coastal communities, some cities as large as Singapore, and some much smaller communities, as small as a remote island village in East Timor. I then realized how sea levels threaten our friends and allies around the world. Aha! Oh. On my second deployment, my platoon and I served as part of the invasion of Iraq. We saw a long, trailing convoy, miles long, carrying fuel, water, and supplies, pushing from ports in Kuwait all the way up to Baghdad. I then realized how much we, Marines, depended on such a vulnerable logistics tether. Aha! Oh. For my third tour, I volunteered to help load container ships in Kuwait. I saw vast deserts, sprawling industrial ports, and a prosperous Kuwaiti capital city. I then really realized how in 1990 Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait to seize its precious oil resources. If fuel, food, and water become scarce, we may have more international wars, more civil wars, all over resources. Aha! Oh. For my fourth tour, I volunteered to help advise Iraqi security forces in and around the city of Fallujah. I then saw how fuel scarcity caused us to spend time refueling and less time on patrol. I also saw black markets for fuel and wondered how much they supported and funded the insurgency. I then realized how that without much more efficient technologies, it is much harder for us to help the people we care about and the ones that we want to help. Again, aha, oh. For my fifth tour, I volunteered to help coordinate Iraqi police development across Anbar province. This is with the Marine headquarters. Fifth tour! And the Department of Defense calls climate change a multiplier. They call it a multiplier because it will make just about any security scenario just that much more worse. That means conflicts and wars that may drag on even longer. Aha, oh. I've got one more story to share today. Between deployments, I volunteered a week to help post-Katrina recovery efforts in New Orleans. I saw how a glorious American city had been turned into a ghostly shell of itself. It had no civilians after the evacuation. All that were driving around were police and military vehicles. This is not just about events far and away overseas. Climate change endangers us here in America. Aha, oh. Now, many of us have heard about Colin Powell's Pottery Barn rule. In war, if we break it, we buy it. Well, for our climate, we should have something similar. Call it Powell's greenhouse rule. All around us, we're building up greenhouse gases that trap the heat up against our planet. If we continue to build this greenhouse, we'll have to live in it. It's time for us to move beyond just saying, aha, oh, and get to an aha, oh, okay. And that okay is when we realize our responsibility. When we take increased resolve, and when we support action. We here today, we here in Connecticut, and we as Americans should say, okay. It is time we take action. We should support President Obama, Senator Blumenthal, Senator Murphy, as they wrestle with policies to combat climate change. This can't wait. Thank you very much.
Take back that comment.